The music that I'm doing right now is, I think it's mostly what people have come to call noise music, and it sort of started out as out of like the early industrial music. People like Throbbing Gristle, you know, Cabaret Voltaire, started using not very much non-musical things as instruments, like messed up synthesizers. In California, Boyd Rice was using turntables and guitars which had fans on them. This all happened in the 70s. The reason I came to like that is because, for one thing, it's properly done. It's a lot more interesting than traditional music, you know, especially traditional pop music. The reasons they do it are not the reasons people do genre music, which is to be cool or make money or get laid. So, you know, none of these guys are doing it for that, and as long as they keep not doing it for that, I'm pretty comfortable with that. When people think of noise, they think of something that's very loud and very abrasive, and something that most people just don't want to listen to, and that is perfect. You know, that's exactly what I'm going for. So, I mean, it's a good term, and it fits. A lot of noise music and noise musicians also, there's a big philosophical difference, because noise is not, usually not by its nature, political. And if it ever gets into politics, it's usually extreme politics. You know, which is another reason I like it, is because the ideas that are pervade. If you look at people like the Grey Wolves, they're very paramilitary, and they've been accused of fascism, for instance. Boyd Rice's, you know, misanthropic speeches have been also, you know, accused of being some sort of neo-Nazi stuff. But the thing is that the reason they get that way is just because they're because of some of it's legitimate, but a lot of it is also just because of the fact that they don't bow down to stuff that's in pop culture today, which is largely either mediocre conservatism or mediocre liberalism, and when you don't fit in that, you're branded as the enemy, and right now that's mostly the right wing. But most people in the scene aren't even political, and they're certainly not of the politics of like a Negative Land or even, you know, Oswald. Most of the agenda, as far as noise music is concerned, is a deliberate alienation from society, because people, in general, in the noise, if there is a noise community, feel that society is not justified, and they also don't want to get into like some sort of leftist politics, or some sort of idealist politics, because they view that as essentially nonsense. Society is bad. The reason it's bad is because it's society, and it's by its very nature not redeemable. So rather than redeem it, you know, why not just wipe it out? I mean, that's the general thing, and that also has a pretty big appeal to me, you know, which is why I like that form of noise music and not others. You know, a lot of that is just ideological, you know. For a lot of people, the only real difference is in its intent. You know, the reason people do noise is because they don't, you know, they don't want people who like other forms of music to like, to like them, essentially. People have actually done stuff like released field recordings of construction equipment as music, you know. I mean, there's not any hard and fast boundaries. To me, personally, there's a difference because the stuff I do anyway, at least the recorded stuff I do, actually has a structure and has some sort of meaning. I mean, it's not music in the sense that it has notes or melodies or rhythm or anything like that. But it definitely has a purpose, and you can identify different parts of it, and they're there for a purpose. I mean, that's recorded. Live, I just sort of throw a tantrum and throw shit around. You know, it's not, you know, live it just has to be explosive, so that's, you know, that's what I do. This is all just stuff I had when I was playing guitar. It's a distortion thing with the somebody's ass crack sticker on there. Then a delay here. This is an old Digitech delay. Power strip, you know, basic stuff. I also used to have a 4-track that my friend Keith sold to me that I would plug in here and just, you know, let it go, run that into here, you know, into this big ass mixer here. I bought this thing off of eBay, and this thing also at Swapfest for 20 bucks. These are Yamaha sound generators, and they use FM synthesis, which is nice because it sounds, you can get some really extreme and grating and really annoying sounds out of them. So those are pretty nice too. But I'm sort of phasing this stuff out because I've got this stuff over here now, which is this thing. It's basically a loop sampler. It's cheap, but it does well. It can beat match and stuff like that. Has a number of weird effects and stuff like that. This thing I actually love. It's a Dark Star. It's cheap. It's my favorite thing right now. My favorite synth. This is the first version. You can pick up the new one for 200, 300 bucks, and it's basically, it's like having about 5 Korg MS-20s in one little rack mount thing, and it's cheap. So, you know, I run that into this second-hand delay pedal. Just running out of batteries, and then into this distortion pedal, which I just got, that sounds pretty cool. Love the knobs on it. And into this, and that's that, out it goes. Into little speakers there, PA or wherever it goes.